Hey everyone, my name's Cody. This is a game I'm working on called Chronicles of Virtue. It's a tactical RPG where you play as Arya and a team she assembles who lives in a world that's just been introduced to magic. As you progress through the story, you learn how to harness that magic, but so do other powerful groups. Some who don't have the best intentions. Today we're going to be working on developing an elemental map. So essentially, this feature, this mechanic is a map where you have essentially 8 different elements. As you cast these elements, you'll be drawing power from the world. So the concentration of that element will go down. As the concentration goes down, your spells get weaker, but the other ones opposite on the map get stronger. So today what we're gonna be working on is, hey, how's it going, Loki? Good to see you. Long time no see. So essentially what we're gonna be working on is I'll walk through the design. We're gonna design it, and then I'll kind of go through. We'll see if we can implement it and try to build up a widget where we can kind of see what's going on in real time and then watch the effects. So should be fun. Should be a good time. With that, I'll go and get started. I do want to kind of play through a little bit because there have been quite a few changes since last time I've streamed. It's been a little while. Essentially, I have been making progress though. So essentially here, made a lot of progress with the attack system. It's very different. So I'll kind of show you here. So let me go to like the axe here. So one of the things I did was implement, if you've ever played Legend of Dragoon, a similar mechanic in terms of the attack you'll see here in a second. So essentially how it works is when you attack, you have kind of an action bar, and rather than just straight randomness, depending on how you perform there, depends how much you attack, and your weapon really determines how long you can attack for. So like I have like an unarmed, right? And then your position when you attack, like the percentage that you see there, 49% in the bottom left, that's how hard it is essentially. So it is your chance to hit, but it's also essentially how hard it is to hit this. So it's essentially what this looks like. It gets real hard to the point of frame perfect after just a little bit. So yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting mechanic. Today I want to go over some of the magic stuff, though I don't have a lot of the magic like animations in there yet, so still working on that. But ultimately, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that's going. It does make you really overpowered, so there's a lot of balancing to do, but it's coming along. So yeah. So really what I need to test out then is magic, which I only have one character that has a weapon with magic right now, really. I mean, I have these spells, but I think it's gonna be easier to see with like range spells, and I just killed that person, so I'll have to reset, which is fine. But so without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm gonna close this out here. What I wanna do is open up PowerPoint. And just kind of do some designing stuff. I've gotten rid of that element, so I'm gonna clear that. All right, let's see. Let me create a new thing here. All right, which I know PowerPoint. Let me crop this a little bit. All right, let's see. So I'm just gonna crop window if I can find it. Let's see this window here. Settings. Make this look a little bit nicer here. Filters. We're gonna add a crop. All right. Right, something like that. Something like that. You probably can't see it yet. That's okay. We'll get there. I promise. I hope everyone's doing all right. It's been a while since I've streamed. I've had some things going on, but I am super glad to be back. Okay. There we go. All right, just doing a little design stuff here. So ultimately what I want to do is kind of design what this looks like. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit, I think. It's pretty loud. Let's see here. There we go. I think that's much better. All right. So let's see. So what I'm gonna do here, I hope my bit rate's not too bad. Nope, it looks like it's pretty good. It says it's unstable for some reason, but it's got a lot of bits out there. All right, so I think I'm just gonna create the opposites real quick and just kind of go from there. So light and dark. I need to figure out what the opposite, probably lightning and water, I guess. So lightning and water are good. Air and ground. And fire and ice. Okay, so here's the way that this will work. Essentially, just imagine this circle here. This is like where, like it starts in the middle, right? It starts in the middle. When I cast a fire spell, and I think the way this is going to work is it's kind of start as kind of a hidden mechanic until I think there's going to be a point where you meet like a professor of some kind. Because I mentioned in the intro that everybody's kind of learning magic at the same time. With that, the way this would work is essentially you've got to learn about this, right? It's not going to be like if magic just came into the world, nobody would know about this. So the idea is when you get to like your first town, you'll meet some kind of professor, have a chance to kind of team up with them a little bit, who is studying the magic. Because I imagine if that were to happen, like magic were just to enter the world, people would be studying it, learning about it, right? So essentially here, what would happen is you would this professor would be studying it and realize like, hey, whenever certain spells are getting cast in certain areas, you're seeing some spells get stronger, some get weaker, right? And I think at that point, like you would know about it, and then at some point you would get like a widget on your screen, like a heads-up display type thing, where you can actually see it. And I don't know if it's something he invents. I don't know if it's a sense. I gotta plan that out. That's kind of the general idea. So the idea is here I'm casting, like say I cast fire, right? When I cast fire, I'm pulling fire elemental out of the environment. So this moves towards ice. And you can see a couple things happen there. When this moves towards ice, the ones on the bottom half, at least some of these, get a little stronger, right? Other ones, fire, maybe water, darkness, whatever. I have to think about this layout, but they'll get weaker, right? So what I need to do is create some sort of mapping algorithm. I think I can make this pretty simple. These are just lines, right? That cross through each other, probably on a scale of like negative. It can be -1 to 1. Doesn't really matter what the lines are, right? And so essentially what would happen is when you cast something, this thing follows that line in that direction. And I think these are going to be just vectors. I think I can do that, where essentially they're vectors. And when I make some progress there, when I follow a line, I can calculate the distance of that object from the root of the vector. So, for example, let me fix that to the middle. Let's see this. So it'll look like this, right? And then, like, for example, fire. Fire is a certain distance away. Oops. Fire is a certain distance away from this, right? And ice is a certain distance away from this. When this follows the line, it's not anchored very well, but the ice gets longer, fire gets shorter, right? You can see that. Well, other ones are gonna get longer and shorter too. So I have to figure out exactly how I want that to work, but that's essentially how that would work. So you start casting a bunch of ice spells because the enemy is weak to ice, but now your ice is getting really weak. So maybe you cast fire, but they're really strong against fire maybe. So maybe you cast darkness, right? To just get it further away. And you can kind of manipulate this. You can manipulate it. You can kind of figure out where you want to go with it. And so maybe you cast water, right? Water would probably be a good one. So something like that. So to implement this, be a little bit interesting, but that's essentially the concept here. So yeah, without too much more, I think we can get started. First thing I probably want to do is introduce and kind of develop what I want to do here, I guess. I probably want to develop like a widget first so I can watch it, because it's going to be a lot easier to watch than cast a spell and see the damage output, right? I mean, I could always do like some sort of pretty simple things, right? I don't have to do a bunch of damage output stuff, but I think it's going to be easier just to watch it. So maybe I do that first. Basically, I want to take this design that you see right here, this design, and I want to draw something up in Godot that resembles it. I think I can do it just with like a 2x2 map of some kind. Again, I don't know what this looks like yet. I don't even know how to do this in Godot right now. So we're going to learn together. All right, let's see. So ultimately, this will be in the 2D space. Let's go to my main scene here. Interesting. Okay, I'll probably put it in the top right. There's plenty of real estate up there. Okay, so I got to figure out first. I guess I just need a control. So it'd be under UI control. I need to add a child node. One thing I'm going to do too while I'm doing this, because you can't see like when I create a node right now. I'm going to make it so you can. So just as I do this, bear with me a little bit. Create new node. You'll see this in just a moment. There you go. Cool. So now you'll see it when I hit create new node. All right. I need to find a control. I don't know what this looks like exactly. Let's see. I could do it with some sort of texture that changes. Could do it with some sort of shader. Let's see. Text edit. I don't think so. Not like a text editor. What is that? Okay, not quite. I could make a grid of T boxes. I don't think that works really. Yeah, I could make some, let's see, graph element. Taylor Swift's basic element in a graph edit control. Okay. What is a graph element? Let's see. Provide source creation, manipulation, display various graphs. Okay. Okay. Low processor usage. Okay, I might have to remember how to do that. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Is that just something that's supposed to be on everything? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'm going to try this. It is an experimental class. Interesting. Use at your own discretion. Huh. This is a graph-like structure. I think this could work. There's a grid. Interesting. Okay, well, let's just see it. It's not stall anymore. All right, let's see. So this is what was it? Graph element. Contains a basic set of graph edit control. Okay, now I have a graph element. I'm going to put this graph element in the top right. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that didn't update. Why? What is going on? Huh. Oh, anchors, that's why. Top right. Okay, so now it's in the top right, which is a good place for it. Okay. Let me start by making it kind of big. Size, we're gonna make it like 100 by 100. Maybe a little bigger, like 200 by 200. I don't know how big I'll make it, 200 by 200. Let's reset it back up to the top right. All right, so now I have this graph element, which doesn't do anything yet. So now let's add a child node. Let's try this this graph editor for graph-like structures. Let's try it. Okay, very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's see what's going on here. Connection lines, scroll zooms, curvature, mini map. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, let's see what we got. Show menu, is that top thing? Okay. Is this something like you interact with? Let's see. Show grid buttons. I'm curious what this mini map is. I may need to do a little bit of research. I should be able to use the built-in stuff though on here. Okay, so basically what I want to do first is just figure out how do I place something in this grid. Okay, there's scroll bars. First off, let's get rid of like scroll bars. Mini map. Let's get rid of all the buttons. Show grid. Okay, I do want to show grid. I wonder why there's scroll bars here. Oh, size. I guess I could just do like 200 by 200. Okay, is that? Interesting. Okay. I'll figure out what minimap is. Zoom. Don't want to be able to zoom. Very interesting panning scheme. All right, let's see what kind of, what am I missing here? What's this asking for? Okay, so it's probably going to break, which might be okay. If I can make it with in one stream, I can remake it. Let's see. Okay, let me look here under documentation, see what we got here. Visual programming systems. Each graph node. So this is graph edit. I don't think I actually want a graph edit. I want graph node. So this is like, I'm guessing where you edit graphs. Yeah. Okay, so I want a graph node. So this graph node here. All right. Graph node, I don't want to be resizable. Well, I guess I could. Okay, interesting. Now let's go look at graph node and look at the documentation. What do I got? Allows you to create nodes for a graph edit graph. Interesting. Graph node is derived from container. The left port's the input port. Interesting. Let's just hit play and look at what's going on. I have a feeling this isn't quite what I want. but I feel like I really like the node symbol for graph element. So I think I want the node symbol for graph element. I just gotta figure out how to use it. Okay, so now I have this thing. I can't resize it for some reason, which is interesting because there's definitely a resize button. All right. Okay. Can I have children of this graph node? Okay, what's the documentation say? How do I add children? Based on its child controls. Huh. What are these controls? Oh, just a control? Interesting. I don't feel like I'm doing this right. I probably need to do a little bit of Googling. Hey, thanks for the follow, Barkley Gam. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out while I struggle through this a bit. Okay, what I'm guessing is I need to write some code in here for this control here. Let's see. So basically it's acting as a container and I can put children in it. I'm not sure I understand the input-output ports. Let's see. Each graph node slot is defined by its index. So that's these slots. Okay. So I added a child and now it has these inputs and outputs. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. So the title here could be, element map. And I'm guessing it pops up right there. It pops up right there. Okay. Good. So we have that now. So let's go back to the documentation here. Let me just see what the available functions are. And I think that'll clue me in on if this is the right thing. So I have these slots. I have input ports and output ports, title bar, and all these slots. I'm not sure if I fully understand these slots. Here's what I'm looking for. What I want is a node that lets me put in some sort of graph, like a graph node. Let's see. What I'm going to do is just pull up the Godot definition here. Let me share that. I'm going to the internet here for a little bit of help. All right, let's see. So let's see what we got here. Let me look for the example here. What we got? Oh, there is no example. I think this is pretty new functionality here. Let's see. A container with connection ports representing a node in graph edit. So I do think I need graph edit. Display various graphs. Power visual programs such as shaders. Graph nodes can be placed. So I think I probably do need graph edit. Helps control various interactions with nodes between nodes. And when a user attempts to connect, disconnect, or delete a graph node, a signal is emitted. Okay. It looks like maybe it takes a lot of processing power. I wonder if this is the right thing I want to do here. I might be overcomplicating this. Interesting. Mouse position is the input hot zone. Okay. What I would love is if this was just some sort of grid where I could put stuff in the grid at certain locations. Maybe that's what I need to build up. Let's see. All right. I think that's good. I think that these graph elements is not really what I'm looking for. I think the problem with the graph elements is that it's let's see, I'll go on my docs here. What I think this is when someone's trying to modify things that you want to connect your shader to, so you're taking inputs and outputs. Okay, so there's not even documentation on graph elements. Interesting, okay. Maybe there is. Let's see. So graph elements actually represents a basic element inside graph edit. Okay. Interesting. I'm very confused about what these graphs are. That's okay. I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rethink this a little bit. I think what I need to do is, instead of doing something like this, like graph element, I need to just have a node that I just establish like a texture on. And I can probably just design that texture here in, I guess, PowerPoint. I can make it look good later. The goal is just to get something that's working. So let me kind of line these up, make it look decent here. And I think go from there. Make sure these are at 45 degrees. Let's see. I should format. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to... I think the rotate only does 90 degrees here. Is that right? Rotation options. I can do this. Okay, so let's get this centered on the page. I guess let's do this. I think this is already kind of centered. Let's get rid of the circle and this over here. Okay, what I'm trying to do, I think, is build it up in PowerPoint, which isn't fantastic, but I can make it look good later. And then I think from there it would be pretty easy. I think from there it'd be pretty easy to take like my PowerPoint image, throw it over the like just a panel with texture, and then from there I can have one other element that I can just place, and I can use just the grid that's built into the 2D system. And I think that would work pretty well. All right, let's get this thing exactly centered. So, first off, maybe I turn on grid here. Okay, that does look pretty centered to me. Okay. Let's do this one. PowerPoint is the ultimate game design tool, actually, if you didn't know. All right, let's see. The next one here, I think that's centered. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll probably go develop something either natively in Godot or somewhere else. And I think that's fine. Okay. Okay. Okay, and okay, that's close enough. Okay, I'll get rid of that. So one thing to think about is like, where should the elements be? The reason I say that is like, if you're casting a lot of ice, and so you're kind of down here on the map, right? At some point, let me give you a little bit more of that window. It got shifted because of that. There you go. There you go. Okay, if you're casting a lot of ice, right? Hey, Poetic Tragic. Yeah, it has been a while. Sorry, I've been out about the last month. I've been having some personal things going on, but things are looking up. So, but yeah, it's been a little while. Glad to see you. We're in PowerPoint now, designing a mechanic. So So yeah, so as you cast more ice spells, you would be coming further away from ice, right? And then the question is, hey, that's awesome. Glad to hear it. Or what are you looking to do with sequel? Are you like trying to get a job in data analytics or more for hobbies? And then I think from there that would be okay, because then like, let's do fire, for example. It goes this way. And then maybe you cast lightning spells. I think I want to flop water and lightning. Very nice. Okay. Cybersecurity, nice. That's awesome. Well, best of luck there. Yeah, hopefully learning that's going well. Has it been hard? How has learning been? I don't know SQL, so I don't have a lot of context on how challenging it is to learn. So, all right. Do something real quick. Did that work? I don't know if it did. I'm having a hard time here. That's okay. Interestingly, I was checking my mod tools, but I'm not able to do that. Nice. Oh man, yeah, you're going the gauntlet. Hey, it's awesome. Assembly is something else, I'm sure. So best of luck there. I'm sure it's tough, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. I actually learned the entirety of Roller Coaster Tycoon was written in assembly, and that's why I don't know if you remember like when Roller Coaster Tycoon came out, but I had a really weak computer, but it was one of like the few games that could run really cleanly, and turns out it's because it was written in assembly, so it was super efficient. And so yeah, the guy that invented that's pretty much a genius who wrote Roller Coaster Tycoon. He wrote it all in assembly. It's a crazy story. I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of learn the basics, and I don't know that it's really worth it in 2024 to learn how to write assembly anymore. Things are so efficient, compilers are so good, but you definitely get a lot of cred for knowing assembly, and you like learn how to problem solve and stuff, right? Which is a big part of it. I think just learning how to problem solve is kind of huge. All right. So I think here, and one thing I could do is throw this on top of a like one of those grid maps I was just looking at, right? Because they do have the grids or the graph nodes, whatever you want to call it, graph edits. Because it does have the grids. The grid is kind of nice, I think, for this potentially. Is it not square? It's not square. Let's move this down to this line to get this square. Which means I need to move this down a line. And each of these down a line. Right? No. No, they were actually fine. I was just off by one. Okay. Was I not centered that much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. I guess I am. Like right now, the top looks so much bigger than the bottom section to me, and I'm guessing it's just like an optical illusion. I don't know if you guys see it, but to me the top looks so much bigger than the bottom. Maybe it's just how my eyes work. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I have this now. And the thing I can do now is I can paste this as a picture. Oh, interesting. Copy. I can paste this as a picture, and I should have a transparent background on this. So I can paste it. I can save as a picture. I will save it as a PNG, and I will save it as something like, I know you can't see my save thing, which is probably a good thing. But let me find the right folder here. I'm gonna save this as well. Okay. All right, we're gonna save this as, let me go to art, the art folder, we'll put it in there. And this is gonna be element map.png. So now here, what I should be able to do is add a new panel. Let's see. First I want a container. I can probably do like a panel container. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that container. I'm going to anchor it to the top right. I'm going to make it a little bigger, probably like 200 by 200. Anchor it again because it lost its anchor. And then let me go to theme, override styles for my panel. New style box texture. Texture. I think it's a canvas texture that I need, right? Or texture 2D. I don't know what 2D RD is though. Yeah, I think I just do viewport or a canvas texture though. I thought it was just the texture 2D, but I don't know what texture 2D RD is. That's okay. Do to canvas texture. Maybe okay, texture, and then on the maybe not a canvas texture. Let's do texture 2D RD. I don't know what that is, but invalid RID. Okay, that's not it. I know you guys can't see this menu. It's okay. Oh, image texture. That makes a whole lot more sense. All right, so the image texture then. Let's see. Maybe. Can I just drag it on there? Let's see. So under art, I should have this element map. It's there. It's very small. I probably, let's see. I probably need to color those. Let's see. Modulate. Yeah, white's good. I wonder if I can modulate like the whole thing. I'm not seeing an option for that. That's okay. All right. Let's see. Now when I play that, I doubt I can see it very well in the top right. Let's take a look. All right, if it loads, here we go. Okay. Oh wow, I broke some things. That's okay. I don't know why I broke things, but I'm sure I can fix it. Okay. So yeah, it's up there. It would need like a background that's slightly opaque. Kind of looks like just broken things. Need to scoot it out a little bit, which is fine. Need to make the icons probably bigger. I got to think about how I want that to look. So, but ultimately, I mean, that's coming along. In terms of just the visual, I'm gonna get rid of that horizontal line. Okay, so back to here. Couple things here. Let's get rid of these lines. I guess just bring things in, right? I mean, if I change the size of all these elements, they're a lot bigger. That could work. Let's see, graphics, height. That's not right. Okay, how about we make them like 5? That's too big. Let's try 1.5. Okay. All right, now let's line everything back up. I'm gonna pull them in also. The goal is definitely not to take up a bunch of space. on that map. The goal is for it to be readable. And it's like, it's not like you need a whole lot of room. You're gonna have like something that's probably pretty bright. Okay. Something like that. That one's a little big, but it's okay. Again, I will clean all this up. I just want to see this working first. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and make this smaller. Something like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and change their color. Ah, interesting. Look at the that's really interesting. Why is it doing that? All the rest of them are fine. For some reason, this one thinks I want to paint the background. Okay. All right, we'll do color correction instead on them. That was weird. Okay. Let's see. I guess I probably should do either. I guess just leave them black. What I probably should do is make them all. I might make like triangles, right? To like make some kind of radar type map. Let's see. We'll mess around with it later. Okay, save over my element map. Go back to Godot here. All right. So let's see. Go ahead and update this. Okay, let's clear it. Re-import this. Oh man. All right. Let's pull element map into there. Oh, it's still. Oh, it's good. Yeah, actually, it's good. After I left it black. Okay. That looks pretty good. So ultimately, then I would need. I need to spawn an element inside of here. It can just be, I think, another like panel container. Just the position would change, like position offset, depending on where I'm at. So maybe for now, let's just do like a star. Like the star is gonna look ridiculous, but maybe I don't want a star. I can do something like this. Actually, this kind of looks like how my magic charges. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not gonna be the final thing. Let's just make it orange for now so it sticks out. Let's see, when it's in the middle, it'll look like that. That looks great. Let's save this picture. And this is gonna be target. All right, so within here, within this panel container, I'm going to add a child node. Would it be a color, like a style box is what I'm looking for, I think. A texture rectangle, okay, that works. And then texture, image texture, target, interesting, okay. Expand mode. Okay. Transform. Oh, it won't let me change it. Interesting. That's interesting. So it grows to fit the size of the container it's in, which is fine. All that means is I need to bank a container inside of this container. Let's go back here. Add child node, just a container of some kind. I think I can just do a regular container here. And then I can make this container. Ah, I can't. Interesting. Maybe it needs to be a panel container. Okay, and then I guess I really wouldn't need, if I do this, I really don't even need like a texture inside of it, because I can just make the panel. I can't control it. Okay, so if it's a node of another container, it's just filling up that container, which is interesting. Custom minimum size, that's the minimum. I'm guessing, yeah. Okay, and then I could set the minimum size to be like 50 by 50. But what I don't like is the layout being in the top left. Okay. Huh. I want to find a container that's independent of where I'm at. Does that exist? This one does, but it's under a control node. So maybe I shouldn't be using, I think I need to use a container. I think a container is the right thing. I think I've got to find, maybe just using a control node underneath. But I think the control node would also grow to fit the container. That's what a container is, and that makes sense. Like if I just use a control node here, can I control? I can't. Okay. I mean, I can make it a minimum size. But I can't put it where I want it. So I got to think that through that. Got to think through that. Let's see. So like this, I could pivot, I could offset it to transform different. It's a child of regular control. So it allows me to position it. But what if I want to position something within that? Maybe I shouldn't be using panel container there. Maybe I should be using some sort of control. Or maybe just a panel. Like if I just make a panel here, and I set the layout of the panel to be the top right. So if I do that, I can hide this for a second. And then within the panel, I set the panel be a new style box that is an image texture, and that image, pull this up, this is element map. Okay, so I have this element map. Now on top of that, let's create a new child node that's also a panel. All right, yeah, now this looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna make it 50 by 50. Override the style. Be texture. It's gonna be an image texture. And then I'm going to drag this target on there. Okay. Perfect for now. Okay, so then I think all I need to do here then. So this is gonna be element map, and this will be element map target. I guess I can just put yeah, I'll just put target. That's good. All right, so then in my scripting, all I have to do, I think, is anchors, or position, I guess. And I would just turn this up, like if this is 100. Yeah. Okay, so the middle is what? 75 and 75? Somehow? Because it's a 50. Okay. So that's where it starts in the middle. Let's go ahead and hit play. Let's look at it. All right. Okay, so now we have that, which isn't terrible. Okay, so basically the way I want that to work, that aliasing is pretty bad. Okay, basically the way I want that to work, like when I cast... Okay. Like when I cast fire spell, let me switch weapons. When I cast a fire spell, what I want to happen is I cast fire and see how it's like pulling elements out of the world, kind of what it's supposed to look like, right? So basically it's drawing elements from the world. There's a weird little thing. I'll turn that off. It's the... Probably see it up there. When you swing a sword, you get a weapon trail. That's what that is. It's just poorly done for the wand. Anyway, so that's going on. So what should be happening now, right, is as I get that charged up and I cast a spell, I would be drawing fire elemental out of the world, right? So up here in this map, top right, that would get pulled away from fire because fire is now not as abundant in the world. So it would get pulled away from fire. And so this is going to be start out as a hidden mechanic. In the demo, I'll probably just make it a mechanic up there so you can kind of see it happening. So then your ice spells would be stronger. Your fire spells would be weaker. That's what I'll start with, is just moving it around the map, getting values. So what I need then is a function. I need a function that takes this as a function, like position, X and Y, as a function of all of these, which I think is pretty easy because I think this right here, this line, is like -1, right? Or negative X. This line's like positive X. Right? Or I guess a constant slope. This line is 0. X equals 0. Y equals 0. And this line is X equals 0. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the overlay. Okay, so basically I have this. And so what happens then is I need a function for position based on this. I think that's pretty easy. I think like when I cast a spell, it would be like if you cast towards ice, I think it would be root 2 by root 2, right? It's just a hypotenuse of a 1x1 triangle, which I think is root 2. Let's pull up the calculator. So 1/1, wait, a squared plus b squared is 2. Yeah. So it'd be square root of 2. So it would have to move the square root of 2 towards ice, right? So I guess it would go down 1, or I guess I'd want it to move 1 to ice. So that doesn't work. So I would need the opposite of that. What's an equilateral triangle where the hypotenuse is 1? So then we have c squared is 1 equals a squared plus b squared. So square root of 1/2. Is that right? I think so. Let's make sure. Oh, not an equilateral triangle, I guess. Just a right triangle. Terminology. Okay, square root of 2 over 2. Perfect, 0.707. So I think that's pretty easy. I think I could start with that. If it starts at 75, so let's start with just some code then. Basically, let's just create for now a script on this target. All right, I'm gonna have several functions here. We'll have like function. We'll say like, I guess not. I mean, we'll have magic cast, right? And then I need which magic was cast. I don't really care about who cast it. I don't think, for now, magic cast. The good thing about magic cast, where I'll be pulling this from, it actually has all the data on where it was cast, who cast it, and everything. So that's good. Basically, when I cast a spell, what it should do is it should say position.x. I guess I can say position equals current position plus, for now, I'm just going to say plus vector 2. And we'll say, actually, let's do plus spell delta. I mean, we'll call it that. So basically what I'm saying is I have a variable called spell delta. And it is a vector 2. Okay. And then what's going to happen is based on magic cast, it's going to have different things. So if magic cast dot element equals ice. Actually, because I think the elements are actually saved. So let's do that and say like export var variable ice element. Okay. Ice, fire, wind, earth, light, dark, ice, water, and lightning. All right. Okay, so I have all these. So basically I can say, hey, if this is ice element, I can say spell delta equals, if we look at it for now, actually, yeah, let's just do ice delta. And I'll do all of these. So basically what I can do is instead of doing this, I can create a dictionary up here. So I want all these. I'll export these as well. Oh, I need types too. So I think that these would be type element. Yep. Oh man, tedious here. Okay, so these are vector 2s. There we go. All right, and so I'm gonna have fire delta, wind delta. So then I can just select them in the menu. Light delta, dark delta, water delta, lightning delta. Okay. That's great. So now what it lets me do is select all these deltas from here, which is good. So let's go ahead and put all the elements in there. So I got water. I've got light. There's going to be extra elements that you see here too. Those extra elements are things I had initially implemented and took out. Oops. I don't think they really work. May end up adding them back in. Basically, it's poison and death. Death is kind of a silly one. I think I have life too. But yeah, I don't think I'll have those. Ended up just being too many elements. Air instead of wind. Let's call it air. All right. So air, dark, and lightning. All right. Good deal. So basically I say if magic cast dot element equals, oh wait, so from here, I don't want to do all that complicated stuff. I want a dictionary. Okay, so then I would say element dictionary equals, let me remember how to do dictionaries here. I think they're pretty straightforward. Yeah. So just the names and the result. And I think I don't have to use strings. Pretty confident. Pretty confident I can just do ice element, ice delta, fire element, fire delta, air element, air delta, earth element, earth delta, light element. I thought about copying and pasting, but I actually think I typed fast enough that I don't think it saves much time. Dark element, dark delta, water element, water delta, and light. Okay. I may not work. Oh, I guess I need variable. I gotta have. Or is it commas? It might just be commas. I haven't streamed for a month, so I gotta like relearn how to do everything. Okay. So now I think I can say spell delta equals element dictionary, and I would say magic cast dot element. I think that works now. That might be that might be all I have to do actually. Actually, yeah, I think that's good. This might be one of a very efficient function. Let's see. Then what I'm going to do is that was a good wrap. Then what I'm going to do is pull up this ice delta is going to be negative for the x, negative 0.707. In the y, it'll be positive 0.707. That's the square root of 2 over 2. Fire delta, when I cast a fire spell, is going to be positive 0.707 and negative 0.707. Air is negative 0.707, negative 0.707. Earth is positive 707. Okay. Light is positive 0, positive 0, positive 1. Dark is 0, negative 1. Water is negative 1, 0. And lightning is 1, 0. Okay. The reason why I've done this as an export is because it lets me actually come in here and edit. Because I imagine this mapping is going to change, right? There's going to be some balance I have to do. Because like if something's kind of weak to water, it may make sense for it to be weak to light or water and ice like together or something. So it may not be like a way to get back to where you're dealing damage. But I want there to be. But fire and lightning are kind of similar. So I'm thinking if you're casting fire spells, it pushes you further away. I may want to put lightning back over here. So if you're casting lightning spells, it pushes you a little bit back towards fire. Okay. Now, actually, let me go ahead and map it to my spells. So when I cast a spell, I want to trigger that. Casting. Look at the script. Casting, active player, and current magic. So, basically, let's look at this and say casting, connect to this. Oh, it's not saved. Let's go save it. Now let's connect to it. So connecting, basically we have this target, pick a function, and magic cast. And then I need to make sure I have active player and current magic in there. I don't right now, I just have the current magic. So basically I can say active player. I probably won't ever use active player within this function, but what it lets me do is just pass it. It won't pass the signal unless it's the same. So then I have magic cast, and I'm just gonna check real quick on one of these that I think, like this one. See, so magic cast. Okay, so the current magic then actually contains the data. So what I need is current magic.magiccast.element, which is okay. So basically here, just magic cast dot. I might change that to current magic. Match current magic, and so I got current magic.magiccast.element. I think this works, and then what I'm going to do is print spell delta. I have not tested any of this yet, so we're kind of coding in the dark. So what we're about to see is the first test. Current magic.magiccast.element. So we're going to print both of those. So what I'll say is element passed. And then I'll say delta passed. And what should happen too when I do this is we should see the thing move over a little bit. So let me go ahead and hit play. I have almost zero faith this is going to work first try. We'll find out. You know, maybe we get lucky. That is really simple, though. It's not a lot of code at all. I don't know why I expected this to be a lot harder. Let's see. I mean, it might be, right? Haven't done any debugging. Maybe we're going to finish this and it's nowhere near right. All right. Oh, man. Okay. Well, either my controller's not registering, which it did fall, or something's broken. Let's look at the log. There we go. Actually, it was my controller. Okay. So, see the map up there? Let's see what happens. We'll let that cast for a second. I don't want to do the exact same. Let's do lightning. Yeah, we'll just keep pushing it further away. I also might not be able to see it much because I did it in like 75 increments. I might have to multiply it by like 10 or something to see it. Which is fine. All right, we'll do that. You can cast another fire spell. Okay, I broke it, and I imagine it's my new function. Okay, what do we got? Now it's time to debug. I gotta move this window though. Nice screen grab though, looks pretty good. Okay, so what do we have here? Invalid get resource. Okay, so get indexed resource. So it doesn't like how I did the the dictionary. All right, let me close this out because you guys can't see. All right, it doesn't like at all how I did this dictionary here. I think it should work. It's just pulling the resource. Did it print it? Let's check if it printed it. So element passed is this resource number, which I imagine is the element. So that's good. And so then try to do the spell delta. And it said element dictionary of current magic.magicast.element, which it should have taken this. I'm curious if maybe I can't do dictionaries with elements, like actual resources, as the entry. Oops. Which I'm not sure why. I think they're variants. We can check that out. Let's go find the dictionary. Sorry, I dropped my controller again. I need a little. Oh. I need a print, like a little controller holder that just holds it up. Because sitting on my lap obviously doesn't work. Okay, let's see. So let's pull up the dictionary documentation. So the keys may have to be strings. No, variable key. Well, those are strings though. So what I probably can do then is do dot names. Are all of the key strings? They are all strings. Okay. So what I can do then is I think I can say ice here. Let me make sure that's how they name the names here. Element name, okay. Okay, yeah, ice. And then we got fire. Air, earth, light, dark, water, and lightning. All right. So there we go. Checking something real quick, sorry. All right. So then from there, what I can do then is I can say element name and element name. Let's run that. This I have a lot higher confidence in. I feel pretty good about this. I was kind of nervous. I didn't really think that you could pass the resource in as the key. But I wasn't sure. I thought there was a chance. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and cast a spell. Big. Just do that. All right, we'll do all fire so we can see it move. All right, let's see what we got. I might need to multiply it by like 100. All right, let's multiply it by like 10. Because I can't see that. All right, so position equals position plus spell delta. Oh, let's see. Was it outputting spell deltas? I was passing 0 zeros. Did my spell deltas get all saved over? No. That's interesting. Okay, so like fire, for example. Fire should have been 0.707 and negative 0.707. I'm going to multiply this by 10 so that I can see it better. But why didn't that work? All right. So I passed fire. Spell delta equals element dictionary. This. Hey, Hormel Chili Lover. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're currently working on implementing an element map where essentially as you cast a spell, you're pulling that element out of the environment so that spell gets weaker and other spells get stronger. So kind of working on that, but glad to hear things are going well, or at least not bad. Hope you're prepared for a good weekend, had a good week. Start a business? What kind of business do you want to start? Is it chili business? AI, I'm okay. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Okay. Well, no, I do appreciate it, but I'm all right. I've got enough money. I appreciate it, though. But I'm confident that if you've got a good idea, you start a business. And if it's a good idea, I'm confident you can make all kinds of money and be very successful. You obviously have the boldness. Train AI in a mobile form factor. How do I know? Just because you came to my stream, asked if I want to start a business. That's good. That takes boldness. Hey, you got it. You got it. One guy can do a lot. You need a team. You're recruiting. That's good. That's good, Captain America. Well, I'm confident in you. Unfortunately, I've got 2 small kiddos. I've got a lot of hobbies. I have a job. The Iron Man. Oh man, I do like Tony Stark's facial hair. More of the Nick Fury type. I got you. Nick Fury's pretty cool. No, I appreciate it. Hey, if you have questions, feel free to pop in here anytime, though. Anytime I'm streaming, I'm happy to consult. There's a free consultant service right here. If I can figure out my own problems, then maybe I can help with yours. Give you ideas. I like your idea. So what are you saying? You're saying you want to make a device that trains AI in a mobile form factor. Are you saying like an app on your phone that reads all of the data that you're doing, right? As you're texting and Googling and searching to learn. I think places like let's see. So you're saying like a neural system. I'm Googling it here. Okay. See, well, if I'm reading this right, like a neuromorphic computer, you're talking like basically simulating neurons in hardware. So you're saying use large data models to, anyway, might be over my head. I don't know. What are you trying to do with it? Hey, Lizard Mods. I'm doing pretty well. Currently working on implementing this element map, where essentially as you cast spells, you're essentially drawing elements out of the environment. So as you cast fire, for example, your fire will get weaker, but your ice might get stronger. So kind of working through that, and it's going pretty well. I'm not sure why my dictionary isn't taking my inputs right. So the map is going to be in the top right there. It's not the final design, but it's coming along. Okay, so you're saying use like neural networks to train AI? I gotcha. No, that's a cool idea. So yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing today. I gotcha. Very cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing on that today. I'm also not sure how to market it. I think that's a hard thing about. Yeah, I think that's the hard thing about like just marketing AI implementations right now. Is they're hard to market, right? It's hard to find customers for that. Everything you say is an emote. Oh, is it like 7 TV emotes? I don't have a lot on my stream turned on, so I can't even see them as emotes. All right, but yeah, I get that in a lot of streams I'm in. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Ultimately, that should be enough data. I don't think it's moving. But yeah, so from here, then I can come look up here. I got a lot of... Oh, you get research grants? I got you. Hey, I don't know if I'm smart enough to do large language model stuff. Yeah, I get that for sure. No, that's a good point. So, could be cool. I think universities, that sort of stuff, pretty big. I know a lot of people actually were getting their PhD and stuff in there. Yeah, ChatGPT is a product. I don't know how many other AI products are profitable, right? And I'm not saying it's not going to be profitable at all. I think there's a boom coming, right, where a lot of those AI kind of finds its niche. But I think you've got to have the right thing. I'm not saying this isn't the right application. It very well might be. What I'm saying is I'm definitely not an expert in that field. I do avionics development, and I am not a good software developer at all. If you reviewed this code, you would not want me on your team. Iron Man, I'm probably like the bronze man. But that's pretty good. He used a large language model to learn large language models. And that's, a lot of it, just, asking ChatGPT, hey, teach me about this thing. I think it's a very valid approach. Let's see. So I'll Google that. I'll Google that here in a bit. I'm going to try to resolve this bug in PU. I'll Google it right now while we're doing this. I got to think for a second. Yeah. Yeah, I understand like hardware neural networks, at least a little bit. So, no, I think that'd be cool. Definitely a cool project. Are you, you could probably reach out to some universities. I know several PhD students who are studying very similar things. And, yeah, you could probably go recruit. I promise I would not be useful on your team, though. Let's see. So what I'm guessing is, for some reason, like I am passing name, but what it might be is that this is a name space. Is it? Let me go to that. Let me go to here. Yeah. So this is what's going on. It's actually a string name instead of just a string. And I'm trying to access a string in my dictionary. So the fix for this is just string. That's how simple this is. Essentially what I need to do is turn a string name into a string. Godot is really bad about taking an input that should really auto-convert and converting it. It's just not good at it. So I just have to transfer that dictionary over, and I'm guessing that should fix it. I've got pretty high confidence this is going to fix it. So Hormel, are you a software developer? What's your background? Or hardware developer? All right, so now when I cast fire, I may also make it proportional to like the power of the spell you cast. Moves it so like if you're casting weak spells just fighting weaker enemies, it stays where it's at. The only problem with that is like early game, do I make it scale? That sort of thing. So for now, I'll just leave this and then be thinking about that. And if I make the multiplier a function, right, I can do it based on how much mana it costs or how long you have to charge it. So let's see what happens to that. Nothing at all. Okay. It did not move. Let's see. I still passed 0-0 into it. Interesting. I felt pretty confident. My confidence was not warranted apparently. Okay, so I passed fire. Like if I just set this equal to, oh, that's not. Okay. Isn't that comment? I cannot remember how to comment, apparently. It has been a little bit. Backslash? Oh, there we go. That was embarrassing. Okay. So var spell delta equals, if I just say element dictionary fire, right? Which is what that should be. Let's see if that works. Then I take fire delta. Oh, well, never mind. I was thinking maybe I had to initialize it when it was ready, but I shouldn't have to. No, I definitely shouldn't have to. Okay, let's see what happens here. If I just default it to fire, let's see if it works for me. Again, not really sure why it doesn't want to do that. All right, let's check. I could also just set it like on its own thing as well, where I don't have to cast spells every time, but it's nice kind of seeing the spells. All right, let's see what happens. So it should have already done it actually. So I think it's still past, did it still pass 0? Still past 0. That tells me that this dictionary is a little bit broken. Interesting. Okay. So element dictionary, that is coming up 0-0. And let me just make sure that I actually do have a value in there. I do. It should not be 0-0 for fire delta. Let's go ahead and print fire delta just on the process here. I'll print. They should just run. I should just see that running. So down in the output, I should just get fire delta. Really curious why it's thinking fire delta 0-0. It's obviously passing in a vector, right? I think the only way it would be passing in a vector is if it was pulling from the dictionary. Otherwise, it wouldn't know that it was a vector. And it is pulling the variable too. Okay. I mean, that's correct. So that's correct. Let's see. What I can do then is just change this live. I'll scroll where you guys can see it. I can change this live and I can print element dictionary fire and save. And so now it's pulling 0-0. So this right here is coming up as 0-0, but it is a dictionary. So what I might do is on ready this. Let me reset it. What I'm kind of thinking is maybe because maybe like regular variables initialize before the exports do. Exports may happen somewhere between initial variables and on ready variables. If you're not familiar with on ready variables, I can kind of scroll down to show you. This ready function here, essentially what happens with this ready function is when the node loads, that gets called. So if you say something's on ready, it'll actually get loaded once the node is loaded, but not before. So it'll wait to get loaded. Okay. So that fixed it. That was the problem. Let's go ahead and comment this out, pass this. All right. So that should have stopped, and it looks like it did. Now let's go ahead and cast my fire spells. All right. Let's see how this works. All right. That was good. So you see how it moved? It moved kind of it moved a little to the right. It's moving up and right. So obviously I have some signs wrong, but that's exactly what I want to happen, right? So then what I'm going to do is, I mean, kind of almost exactly it's going in the wrong axis, but that's okay. So then essentially what I want to do after that is, like, now, in this case, earth, but really fire spells would be weaker, right? Because I'm pulling that element out of the world. Okay, that's really good. So then I can calculate it based on position. I can calculate the strength of each of these and pass that into my damage formulas. So, or I guess I have an element affinity that would get impacted. Okay, so basically from there, let's see what's going on here. All right, so ice delta. So look at fire delta is 0.707 on X. If I look at the 2D here, 0.707 on X, yeah. And negative 0.707 on Y. What is the Y direction here? I might... positive is down. You can tell from here. So I have all of my Y directions backwards. It's really strange. I don't know, how I feel about that. I get it, because if you're counting pixels, you're counting from the top left to the bottom right. That's where these directions, I guess, are coming from. If I was coding a 2D game and I was using the 2D engine, you can see the arrow. Actually, you might not be able to. Top of the screen, you can see the arrow. Yeah. Now I get it. Okay. Let's flip all my Y directions. All right. Negative and positive and positive. Negative. Negative. Positive. 0, 0. Okay. That should do it. Let's test it out. And honestly, what's funny is I actually thought the widget was going to take a lot longer than like the actual mechanic. The mechanic, I think, is going to be pretty easy. So now all I have to do is based on either, I probably won't, I will probably maintain, yeah, I guess I could just calculate, I could just use the position of the target, and based on each element and the position of the target, be able to calculate the impact there. All right. My wife has found 4 scorpions in the house. But she's killing them. She's the scorpion king. All right, let's see. All right. So yeah, that's moving away from fire. And I could probably tween it. Instead of the position, I'll probably create a tween. Make it a little smoother. Huh. I feel like it didn't really move. I'm just going to keep casting, kind of see what it looks like. See if I can flesh out some bugs. I'm guessing it's going to go off screen. I mean, there's nothing clamping it, but I probably will put a clamp to keep it within the bounds. So at this point, fire should be really weak, right? That's the idea. I mean, I'm pulling all the fire out of the air, so fire would be really weak, and then you would be forced to kind of use other spells, right? You'd want to set up your spells. So maybe you like are using buffs or something that are based on other spells. Every spell is going to have different like attributes and things associated with it. So you kind of get some benefits and things for using other spells. Maybe you cast some buffs based on those spells, and then you would cast like your hurt spells or whatever, your damage dealing spells, when you charge that up. Okay. I kind of just want to see what happens when it runs off screen. I think it's just going to go off screen. I mean, I don't think there's any reason it wouldn't. It is in a container, so it's possible that the map itself gets stretched when it gets to the edge. It's possible that, like, there's a lot of possibilities here, to be honest. But I think it's just going to go off screen. So here's the moment of truth. If the center goes off screen, so I think this is the last. Yep. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. I just need to clamp it. Okay, so let's clamp it. So what I would do essentially is position equals clamp. And I would clamp it to vector 2. We'll say negative, I guess 0, 0, comma, oh shoot, comma, interesting, actually. I do want to clamp it probably, but let me just check a couple things on here. So target, if I make the position 0, is that the edge, basically? Yeah, 0, 0 to what? 150, 150? Yeah. All right. So 0, 0 to 150, 150. I don't know. Let me check some of my other clamps. The thing I'm worried about is I actually don't know if that'll work, because like if it hits 0, 0, it might just not move. So I wouldn't be able to just go straight up. Clamp 0, 0, comma, vector 2, 150, 150. Oh man, I gotta call the pest people. One moment. All right. Let's see. So let me check that. Oh, I guess what I should do is multiply this by like 50 or something. Just get it on the edge. What I'm worried though is that once I hit 0, right, it's just not going to move, because it's going to say, hey, I'm at 0. Like I can't move up and down. We'll check. I mean, maybe it won't. Maybe it treats each vector as something different. I'm not sure. Okay, but I am going to modify this to be, instead of 10, to be 50. All right, so let's see what we got. Fire. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, so that's as far down as it'll go. So now what I want to try to do is move it up and right. So I would cast Earth. And the Earth spell should move it up and right. And yeah, we'll see what happens. No, nothing. So yeah, so that's what I was worried about. Essentially because it's 0, it's not gonna work. So the thing what I can do though is instead of using like this clamp function, I can I can essentially say, hey, if position.x is less than 0, position equals 0. If position.x is greater than 150, actually let me do max position, say min position. Actually, that's not going to work. No, because those are actually variables, I guess. Set min position, set max position. Is that are those functions? Okay, position equals set max position, set min position. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is just create a variable up here. We can export that as well. Variable set min position, integer, export variable set max position, integer, oh, okay, well, yeah, position.x dot y. Okay, so then what I can do is come back here. 0 and 150. Oh, I guess I should do X. And then I want to do the same thing for Y. So then it'll still process the changes, but it lets me, but it'll still clamp it. And I'm going to multiply this by 100 because it's faster. I may make that a variable too. We'll check. All right. Let's see, so fire. Okay, and then I think that would be enough that I can do an earth. See it. All right, see what happens. So that moves all the way to the corner. Good, it's where it should be. Cool, and that moved up. Should move back down when he casts his fire. Okay, he's a little slower. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I like that. All right, easy enough. And what we'll say is plus spell or position multiplier. We'll export that as well. Cool. All right. And then that's going to multiply by 10. Tiny scorpions. Uh-oh. Need to go figure that out. I think they glow in the dark, right? If you use the black light. So we might have to go see what that's about. All right. Let's see. Very good. So from there, then, I think I have that widget kind of set up. Next, I need to set up the actual mechanic, which I guess is going to go in the damage area. So when I calculate damage, is it on damage or is it on attack? Might be on my attack. Magic. Maybe not. It should be in damage, right? Anything damage related should be in damage. Is there calculate damage here? Yes. There's elemental impact. Okay. So essentially what this does, elemental impact right now, does damage minus resistance. What I need is to have another one of these that is basically the world multiplier. So element map. Okay. So I need the script in here. And what I can do, I'm trying to think this through. What I probably do is just I need a function that's a result of X and Y. All right. So essentially what I need in here then is create some variables. And we'll have fire, not affinity, I guess. It's fire. It's getting late. Having a hard time thinking here. All right. Fire impact, fire effect. We'll say world fire effect or world fire impact. And then water, ice, lightning, dark, light, earth, air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were only 8 of them. I swear. Okay, so world fire, world ice, world air, world lightning, world earth, world water, world water, light, and dark. Okay. And then essentially in process, I just need to set all these. The question is, I guess, do I change them here? It's multiplication, so doing it every frame probably doesn't deal much. Probably not too bad on computing, but I really only need to update them when I update this. So really I could just have them here. And that's okay. And then what I can do is each of these have their own function, right? That gets me there. So I would do something like this. All right. And so now I need to figure out the formula for each of these. So fire impact, for example. How far am I away from fire? That's going to be the distance between here and wherever the target is. So I want all these to be the same length, so I'll assume that their length 1, 2. I guess I don't have to assume. I know that their length 75. So this is length equals 75 from there to there. So I keep dropping my controller again. Okay, so here then I have a squared plus b squared equals 75. So take the square root of 75. Actually, I'm sorry. Equals 75 squared. So 75 times 75. 5,625 divided by 2. Take the square root of that. And I get, oh man, 75 times 75 divided by 2. And I get 53.03. So 53. So essentially, because the reason essentially is it turns into 2a squared equals 75 squared. So to calculate a, square 75, take the square root, or divide by 2, take the square root. And I get 53. So 53 by 53 is the triangle here. Go ahead and draw it up so I don't have to remember it later. Okay. So we have h equals 53. That should be enough for that. All right. So then what that means is I need to so essentially I need 1 to equal, or 0, I guess, 0 impact to equal 53, 53. Is that right? No, 75, 75. It's the distance. So this is at, so based on my origin is 53, 50, negative 53, negative 53. Let's start with that. So if I go back here, I can define some of these. I can say var fire origin equals vector 2. We'll do some vector math. Negative 53, comma, negative 53. Which isn't right. It should be 53 minus 75. 75 minus 53. 22. It's actually positive 22, 22 because my actual origin is 0, 0. Makes sense? Fire origin. Actually, I should export these. Yeah, let's export them. Okay. So let's see. So let's go here. I'm going to start with just this. Save that. Is there supposed to be an equal somewhere? Equals, for now, fire origin. All right. 22, 22. So I have the current target, right? Which starts at 75, 75. So I need to transfer the origin of this. To 0. I'm trying to get the length. I want the length of the vector. Right, so what I can do then is I can say absolute value. No, I don't want the... Do I want the absolute value? Yeah. a fire origin, a position minus fire origin. So what this gives me is a vector that is from my current place to the fire origin. So then what I should do is, instead of absolute value, I guess, I would just do length of position minus fire origin. And let's print world fire impact. All right. I don't think this is all it is. First off, this is just gonna give me a number. Let's see what I got. All right, let's see what we got here. Fire magic. Burning blade. Let's see. Okay. It's really laggy right now. What's going on? I don't think I added a bunch of code to make it do a bunch of stuff, did I? Wow, it's like super laggy. I may have. No, that should have saved. Let's see. I mean, I do have a lot of programs running. But it shouldn't be that laggy still. My whole computer is laggy, I guess. All right, one moment. Maybe it's just the calculator. Apparently the calculator was really taking up a lot of resources. All right. How we doing? Not great. My computer's getting tired, obviously. I could probably close some tabs. Weird. That was sudden. You guys might not have felt it, but essentially my computer just started kind of freaking out. Okay. Could have been a website. I had like Wikipedia open. Maybe Wikipedia was sending me a DDoS attack or something. Okay. Okay, I did not like that. What happened? I actually kind of think it broke outside of that. No, I didn't like the length. Okay, so value vector 2 cannot provide a length. Really interesting. Okay, let me pull up the vector 2 online docs. I thought there was a length. It might be vector 2 dot length. Let's go to help here. Let's see what we got. Okay. Angle 2. It is length, okay. So it's dot length. All right, so what I would do is say position minus like that. See if that works. Loading here. Let's see. let's see what we got. Yeah, much better. I'm guessing Wikipedia was just freaking out, which is fine. Oh, it did not like. Oh, did I still have link? I didn't do all of them. Okay, so let's see. Basically, just take this. Cool. So let's try this again. I guess it would have printed. I could have looked at what it printed because it did get there. Cool, let's check here. I gotta start the camera in a better angle. Here we go. Did it move? I guess it did, yeah, a little bit. All right, let's see. I did not give it a name, but I probably collected enough data here. Let's see. So 104, this is the length. And then the one before that was 94. Okay, the one before that was 84. There was nothing else before that. Okay. I'm not sure 84 is exactly right or what I expect. Because here's what I expect. Let me share my calculator with you. I'm doing all these calculations. You can't even see the calculator. People want calculators. So, here's what I would expect. 75 plus 7.07, which is 82.07. But I guess I rounded. So 75 times 75 divided by 2. Square root is 53.0. Maybe I need to copy this whole thing. Because I guess when you square it, it's like if I did 53 times 53, right? Times 2. I take the square root. Now I get pretty close to 75. Interesting. All right, that's interesting. So, origin at 22, is that right? So if I take 75 minus 53, that's 22. I guess I could check real quick, right? And I can say, hey, target, go be at 22 and 22, which is quite a bit ahead of that. But if I was at, for example, 0, 75, that's as far as it needs to go. So 22, 22 is right. Okay. Yeah, that should be correct. All right. So 22, that should be 53, 53. Oh, you know what? No, that's correct. because what I'm actually passing is 1. So I'm actually moving by 10, which is 85. Okay. Nope. We're good. We're good. That is accurate. Okay. So yeah, that worked perfectly. That is exactly the distance from fire. Is essentially 85. Exactly. It's close enough. Okay. So that means this is right. So I just need to calculate the origins. So I need ice origin. Air origin. And then what I can do is subtract lightning origin, earth origin, water origin, light origin, and dark origin. All right. Export variable. All right, we'll get there. Oh my goodness. We'll get there. I wish undid one thing. Okay. Cool. Cool. And now. Sweet. I did way too many there. Okay. And so these are all vector 2s. Sweet. And then let's populate them. Let's look at my map here. Let's go up. Okay, so ice origin. Oh, interesting. Okay, ice origin is 150 length. So it's going to be 75, which is the middle, plus 53. That didn't work? It did work. All right, that's good. And that's X and Y. Air. Let's see. So Y is definitely 22. X is 128. Hey, Y Boss Gamer. Yeah, it's been a long time. I had to take a little break for some personal things, but I'm back. So hope all is going well. Just working on this system here for essentially element map that as you cast spells, like over time, your damage changes. Essentially, if you cast a fire spell, it's taking fire elements out of the environment. So your fire spells are now weaker, but like your ice spells are stronger. That's that map in the top right that you see. So working on some algorithms here to calculate what those need to be. And we're getting pretty close. And honestly, this is going a little smoother so far than I thought. I am about finished up for today, though. X is 150. Thanks, I appreciate it. I missed you. I definitely missed streaming a lot. There's just a lot going on, so sometimes it's tough. But I'm glad to be back. All right, I think I have all the origins there now. So now what that means is essentially then I can subtract. Let's test all these first, I guess. Ugh. Let's see. Fire. I still did keep working on my game while I was out. I think so. It's made actually a lot of progress. Ultimately, the deal was I had a lot of things going on. I just couldn't focus like a lot of like dedicated time in the moment to be streaming, which definitely made it hard. But I did keep working on my game. So what you're going to see here in a second, there was some progress made. I've got some new mechanics, which are pretty cool. I've got some new things going on. And ultimately, I think it's coming together pretty well. All right, let's see. First, let me update this. A little tedious here. All right. Very good. 2 more. All right. And last one. Cool. I like that timed a little bit with the music. Okay. So now what I should be able to see is, oh, you know what? I think I have to subtract 75. Do I? Yeah, I think so. Sweet. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, I'll actually be streaming again my normal schedule. Wednesday, Friday is my plan. And then hopefully get some bonus streams in to make up some ground there. But yeah, I'll see you around. Good luck on the work you're doing. Hope all is going well. But yeah, let's chat on Discord, on YouTube, and I'll catch you soon. All right. And last one. Let's just see what ultimately, I should be able to see all of the affinities change a bit. I'll just let those cast through. I need to get rid of the animation callouts there. I don't think they're really helpful anymore. And last one. Cool. So now let's look through the data that we just collected. I would see all of them change a little bit. All right, so like fire is 115. Accurate. It's getting closer to ice. So that's good. So yeah, I think what I would do is, yeah, I can go back up here. Yeah, ultimately that looks pretty good. I think those are all right. Yeah, all those look good. So I think then what I would do is, so I subtract 75. So like if I subtract 75 from fire, I end up with 25. Ice, I end up with negative 35. Interesting. So the lower the number, the closer. Which means negative numbers would be better. Let me think about that for a second. So I'm trying to get a number that I can use as kind of a multiplier there. I'm trying to normalize this. The lowest the number can be, the highest the number can be, I think, would be 150. So 150 would be the highest number, and that would be essentially the worst case scenario. If I subtracted 150 from everything, it would give me a scale, because 0 is valid. So this is a scale from 0 to 150. Maybe I subtract 150 and take the absolute value. No, not the absolute value. Just multiply by -1. I don't think I'll ever be less than 0 if I do 150. So first off, if we just subtract 150 from all of these, which I think I definitely need to do. And then what I end up with is like -50 here, -100-ish here. Worst case scenario, I end up with 0 on fire, and negative 150 on ice. So then what I can do is multiply all of this by negative 1. Let's add the parentheses first. Okay. And now let's add. There we go. So now everything should start at 75. I guess now I could normalize it, right? I could multiply it by. You know what? I can do some quick math here to normalize this. So I shouldn't be using 150. What I should be using is the max value, because I do want this to be a little dynamic. So I have this max position. Min position should always be 0, but max position here, which I think is 150. Yeah. This should be this. That's going to let me be a little more dynamic as I change things. I don't have to go change it in a bunch of places. Okay. So then what I need to do is multiply this last part by 100 divided by set max position. That should give me a number between between 0 and 100. That should give me a value between 0 and 100, with 100 being 100% and 0 being 0%. So if, for example, if I was all the way on this side, away from it, fire would do 0 damage because there's no fire element left in the world. I think I like that. And 100, I guess I could multiply it by 200 instead of 100. So it starts off normally effective. Yes. Let's multiply by 200. So essentially 200 is worst case. So when everything starts at 75, the value for everything should be 100. And I can check that just on ready for everything. In fact, I should anyway have on ready, I should have position. Position equals vector 2 set max position divided by 2, comma set max position divided by 2. And then I can calculate all these. All right. I like that. I'm also going to go, let's do Control Shift F and say flash. Or flash. I'm going to turn off all these prints because they're really kind of annoying, made it really hard to see things. And there's effect on right there. Essentially, that was for debugging some of the animations. I don't think I need them. Okay. That should make things easier to see. And after this, I think I'm going to call it a night. Again, I hope this should work. I feel pretty good about it, but we'll see. All right. Let's see. So everything is 100. You can see the things are a little bit off, right? You see in the bottom left corner of the Godot window, they're close to 100, but I think that's fine. Close enough. I will probably have them take the floor of that anyway. Okay. Now we should be able to watch. I still does flash effects on. I thought I'd turn those off. I guess there's more. That's okay. All right. First off, let's really turn flash effects off. I really don't want it. For magic, I just turned it off for. What I turned it off for? Sword animation control. Okay. Anything else? Nope. All right. Now let's go back to the output. Let's look at these values. Yes. So it's going further away from fire, closer to ice. And so now all it is multiplying whatever element I'm using, multiplying the damage by this number, which I think is pretty easy. So what I can do is make this, I'm gonna call this like element map target, and make it uniquely accessible. What I would typically do here is do like some kind of signal, because it's like a static thing, right? That just happens. I don't want to be sending signals back and forth, like saying, "Hey, what's my element thing? Hey, it's this," right? I don't think I need to do that. I think I can just reference the value here. So I think that's fine. Let's go up to damage. Here. Element impact. Maybe I'll have a world impact. Var variable world impact equals 0. Only if it's magic. When I have an element impact, I'll also say world impact equals. Oh, you know what? Here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to. Okay, I need to create a dictionary in Target. Okay, so I have all these, right? I don't want to have to like say, hey, go through every element, and I don't want if statements for all of these. If fire, pull the fire impact, right? I want to do it in a smart way. So the way to do that, I think, would be a dictionary. So I could say like world impact dictionary, ice, let's see. Okay. Anyway, we just do the fastest way is probably going to be just copying like this, I guess. I'd just be typing it. Let's just do this. And then I got ice, fire, air, earth, light, dark, water, lightning. Okay. So that's good. And then essentially that's fine. that work? No. I might want those to be strings. Hey, me. How's it going? We are currently working on this element map, and I think we're pretty close. I don't think I want to do that. Is that right? I mean, maybe. So what this would let me do is it let me access the get command, and I can get on these variables or set. So then what I would say is for impact type in what is it called? World impact dictionary dot keys. I'm doing well. I haven't streamed in a little while, so kind of jumping back into it here. Had a lot going on, but doing pretty well now. We're making good progress on the game, which is great. So yeah, ultimately things are going pretty good. Would I have that here? Maybe not. Maybe not. I might want a function actually that returns. Yeah, let's do a function return. I guess provide element impact, and I'm gonna take an element. So I'm gonna say for impact type in world impact dictionary.keys. I'm gonna say if impact type. So what that's going to return is these, right? So I actually want the key. Oh no, it is returning the keys. That's good. If impact type is element.name, I don't want that to be a string. Element.name, I would return world impact dictionary of impact type. But I'm not going to return that. I'm going to return get world impact dictionary of impact type. I think that would work. Let me print that as well. Okay, let's print that. That way I can see, and then I'll print something like retrieved impact. And let's also print the key here. Impact type, comma, value. Cool. I think that will work. So then all I need to do is provide impact element, and this is going to return a integer. Is that you do returns on here? Else pass. And then return 0. It doesn't work. We'll say print failed element pull. All right. Then let's go back to this script. And I'll say world impact equals element map target dot get impact. What is it? Provide element impact. Well, cool. Well, hopefully you have fun hanging out here. I think software and game development has some good good content. It is, I think, hard to be super entertaining when you're like really in the groove, but but hey, I think it's educational too a bit, you know, because you're always getting people's input on how they're doing stuff and that if they're talking through it, right? I try to talk through kind of my rationale behind doing some of this stuff, which is fun. But yeah, a lot of it is, you know, this is super helpful and super fun to do in general. I've been still working on my game, just not streaming for a bit. And overall, streaming is just so much more fun. It's just so much easier to work on a game while you're streaming, talk through your problems. Even if it's just sounding board, right? A lot of my best ideas here are from viewers. So I think it's a good thing. I definitely missed it. But no, yeah, I hope you enjoy hanging out here. I'm glad you popped in. I'm glad you're sorting low to high and popping in places. All right, so this is the game. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, this is the game. It's essentially a tactical RPG. So what I'm working on now is a magic system. So this is kind of what the attack system looks like, right? But the magic system, the point of the game, really the kind of premise behind it is that you're just learning magic, right? Like the world is just learning magic. Prior to this point in time, magic doesn't exist in the world. But at some point, magic's going to enter the world, so everyone's kind of learning magic at the same time. Part of that is the system that you see in the top right. That's kind of what I'm working on up here. As you cast magic, so I'll go ahead and cast like a fire spell, for example. You have to look really closely. But as you cast magic, what's going to happen is you're going to be pulling those elements out of the world, right? Like out of the air. And see, what you'll see is that little orange thing here. It's going to be moving away. I'm casting all fire spells. It's going to be moving away from the fire node. See that? What that's going to do is it's going to make fire spells weaker. Right? Oh, man. Sorry, my mouse is messing with things. So it's going to make fire spells weaker. So that's what I'm coding now as that mechanic. So you can see in the bottom left kind of the values that are resulting from that. So I did pass fire. Oh, but that's not quite right. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I was calculating damage. So let me go at an actual damage dealing spell, because I just realized I can't do that with that spell. So like if I cast fire here and I cast it on, what I should be able to see down in the bottom corner. There's not a lot of animations for spells yet, so still something I need to work on. Okay. So that should give me some data. Let me look at this. It did do 18. It did not return what I was hoping it would. Interestingly. Oh, you know what? I didn't pass the element in. So I need to say magic.element. I guess magic.element, right? So yeah, I didn't actually pass the element into that function. Thanks, appreciate it. I think this is a cool mechanic. I think it could be a lot of fun. I think it adds a lot of strategy, right? This is a tactical RPG. So the goal is to have some strategy. And I think what this is going to kind of force is that you can't just go spam. Oh, interesting. You can't just go spam a single type of spell, right? You have to actually think about it and say, okay, if I cast this spell, my future spells will be weaker. So how do I not have that happen, right? Yeah, I need to cast elements. Let's save this. So what I'm hoping that drives, essentially, as you're kind of fighting through the world, you're not just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. You're actually thinking about it, and there are repercussions to doing that. Let's go ahead. See what happens here. I think it's a pretty cool mechanic, pretty unique. It is similar to if you ever played Chrono Trigger. I think there's like a color mechanic where when you cast spells. Sorry, I'm reading down here. Okay, that didn't pass it through either, interestingly. But yeah, I think there's some sort of color mechanic, right, where when you pass spells in, it creates like a node, and then if you do 3 in a row, you can cast your summons. That's what kind of gave me the idea, is Chrono Trigger, just thinking through that. Obviously very different, but the elements impacting the world is cool to me, right? And it makes a lot of sense in the world building where you're pulling elements out of the environment. So those elements are less concentrated in your area. So it's weaker, right? Let's see. Interestingly, that didn't work. I don't see any errors though, necessarily. Let's see. There were a couple, it looks like. Things out of bounds. Let's go ahead and print here. Print magic.element, just so I can see. Attempting to cast. So that should pass it through to here and then call this. Let's also print. I guess I could do it in the same thing. Impact. World impact. So that should let me see this when I get to it. There's a possibility that I don't ever get to that point, but I don't think that possibility is high. For stat and element types, I think that should work. All right, let's check. Ultimately, all I really care about is when I'm dealing damage. Oh, I need to switch over. So another mechanic here is weapons. Every character, hey, thanks for the follow there. Appreciate that. So every character has 2 weapons, and you can switch them. You can see like black magic with the wand or white magic with the staff. So every weapon has its own set of spells they can cast, which will make some pretty interesting builds. So a lot of these like tactical RPGs, you have like classes, and you can like mix classes. This is similar. So you have 2 different weapons, right? And those weapons have different spells, and then you'll have titles, and those titles will give you the skill boosts. So say you have a title of like Fire Mage, which increases your fire magic damage, right? Well, you could still have a sword that maybe you cast like Burning Blade with, right? So it would still increase your fire damage with your weapon, but it should result in some pretty interesting class combinations, and it'll be very customizable. So I think that's interesting. All right, let's see here. So I did cast that. I'm not seeing though any of those things I just added, those prints. So I'm actually not getting here. Let's see, attempting. See, I'm not actually getting here. Let me walk through here. So calculate damage, if magic, okay. All right. For stat and element types. What are my element types? I guess I really don't need to do that within there, do I? Because it doesn't really matter that it cycles through the elements. I should just be able to take this. That's why. I put it in the wrong type up here, but I don't need to run it multiple times. I just need to run it once. So ultimately, if it's not an ability, it's a spell, then I should just be able to put it here once. That should do that. Okay, that's a better place for it. But yeah, appreciate the follow. Hopefully see you around more. I am, after I get this working, I'm probably going to call it a night. It's about midnight here. I am, it's getting pretty late. I usually stream though Wednesdays and Fridays is my goal here. I used to be really good at it. I used to stream 3 or 4 times every day, or I guess every week, 3 or 4 times. And then some personal stuff came up, so I slowed down, but getting started back here again. So yeah, have a good night, and hopefully see you around. I'm about finished as well. If this works here, then I'm calling it a night too. Hey, good first. Nice job. Though I do need to fix that. I think there was an earlier redeem of that, so I need to check that out. Yeah, I need to see what's going on with that that redeem. It's not quite right, but that's okay. Fix it later. I don't remember adding that. Twitch might have done it. They're very popular. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's test fire here. Okay, so it didn't like that. Invalid name on. Okay, the variable name is actually called element name. Element.element name. All right. Let's try it again. But this code is pretty simple. I actually expected it to take a lot longer than one stream to do, but that's good. So I do think we're pretty close on it. If we can get that all coded up, it's pretty cool. I think this is going to be kind of a hidden mechanic as well. So it's going to start off, you're probably not going to, I mean, you're going to know about it. You're going to find out about it very quickly. But the goal is that you'll learn about it in game as well, because it really makes sense to the lore. So I think there'll be some dialogue around it, some good lore. All right, let's see. Let's wait here. That should make my fire a little weaker. So I was doing 18. I could actually probably tell too, because I was doing 18 consistently. I should do a little less than 18 here. I still did 18. So the impact was 73. So ultimately I should have dealt 18 times 0.73. Oh, I haven't actually implemented that piece yet. That did work. So should have dealt 13. Okay, so the next thing to do then, next thing I do here is, now that I have the world impact, I need to factor that in. So I think all I do is, in my calculation here, times world impact divided by 100. Or I could just do this. World impact equals that divided by 100. Cool. And then I guess I would say if it's a regular attack, I would say world impact equals 1. I don't think. So there's times when you like enhance your weapon with fire or whatever spell. I guess I have to decide if I want that to come into play here. I don't think so. I think I can make it when you apply the stat. It comes into play. And I can make that happen really fast, actually. Let's see. So that works. Yeah, let me just go here and do that real quick. I think it's in my... where are my stats at? Here? Let's see. Load stats. Yeah. So here's my effect additions. Those are live. Oh, it'd be in Magic, I guess. Is it? Where do I actually apply stats? Let's see. I think it is here. Let's just search for effect. Let's see here. Not target info. Not quite. Okay. I think it is in player magic. Maybe not. Player? I might do that another day. Oh, damage. Okay. So here it is. So it's in damage as well, which is nice because I'm already calculating world impact. Okay. Status node. Okay, interesting. So I'm just applying an effect though. I guess I could make it just over time. get worse just by going here and loading here. Effect addition equals this. Status effect times status's multiplier times. Okay, so ultimately then what I would do is I would say up here on load stat, go ahead and calculate the world impact. I would have to do that for every status. If status's dot associated weapon equals assigned weapon. All right, I need to do it for both of these. Variable world impact equals that. Oh, yeah. So I know magic is not in the scope, but statuses, I don't know if I have elements in my statuses. Let's check. Status effect, so like Burning Blade. Huh. Interesting. I probably need to add element to these. Statuses. Export. Variable. Element. All right, so now if I go to Burning Blade. All right, let's go ahead and drag fire into Burning Blade. Oh, there's a lot I have to do here. I guess not that many. Dark. Arcane Surge, none for now. Burn. These I haven't implemented yet. Ice. Maybe it's not so bad. And it'll be kind of nice because I think I'm making that dark. It'll be kind of nice because I can, I think, add some cool mechanics regarding these. And essentially over time then, your buff, if people like, if you don't want to buff their weapon with like fire, you would be able to cast a bunch of fire spells to maybe make them not hit as hard, and that's kind of a cool mechanic. Yeah, this was definitely necessary. Water. And wind. Okay. I think that's most ones that need it for now. Yep. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so then what I can do is go back here and say status. If statuses is weapon effect, for statuses and status effect, statuses.element. Oh yeah, statuses.element is good. Okay, so then times world impact. So that's pretty good, I think. Okay. That's great, actually. So effect addition plus equals this times world impact. That means over time, that will get weaker, which is good. Okay. That should be good, and then I don't have to worry about on the damage side of it. Load stats still. Get closer. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'll just find it in here. I'm getting tired. I'm draining fast. Okay. So calculate damage down here. I don't have to worry about world impact here. I can just make this 1. And then down here I multiply by world impact, so just multiply by 1. All right. I feel pretty good about that. Oh, let's check. All right, let's check. So now, if I cast Fire Burning Blade, I should be able to make fire so weak that it really doesn't do a lot anymore. Also a good strategy, like if you know that bad guy is about to cast a super strong spell, and you have a bunch of things that charge fast, you could cast a bunch of spells. Oh, man. What happened? Node weapon effect. I thought I... All right, so... Weapon effect. Okay, so the effect is the status effect. So I need to do statuses dot status effect or effect status dot effect dot element. All right, let's try that. That makes sense. Cool. Let's try this again. Okay. This should make fire real weak. It would make ice really strong. I'll test that out too. Yeah, my fire should be real weak now. Okay. I wonder why it's just continually retrieving impact. I guess it's... I wonder if it's going to be too much calculation. Every time there's an effect, it's going to be calculating it constantly. That's a lot. Why do I have it doing that? I can probably reduce a lot of calculation. Oh man, I'm loading stats constantly. Do I need to be? Probably not. All right. Interesting. Okay, so yeah. Oh, it's laggy. Yeah, I just dealt 9 damage. Usually I would deal a whole lot more than that. So let's go ahead and like cast Frostblade. And I should be able to deal a lot more damage. And I think it'll even tell me based on the current world what the damage would be. 12. But if I was going to cast Ice, which has the same damage output, 12. Interesting. Let's figure that out. Okay, I couldn't see how much it dealt. 18. Not quite sure this is working exactly right. All right, let's see. Let's see. First off, let's turn off all those returns. It's nonsense. And so I'm getting the right numbers. But yeah, it's doing a lot of calculations. I don't know why I was thinking. Which, I mean, this isn't heavy lifting at all. It's just grabbing the latest, so maybe that's not that bad. But yeah, I'm loading stats a lot. I didn't realize that. Is it just in the process? I need to find a better place for that. Yeah, I load stats. Every frame, I'm loading stats. That's a lot. I mean, I think what I can do is just have it anytime you're hit or anything, load stats. It's probably fine for now. I mean, I think the output was probably taking up most of the bandwidth, like the actual lifting. I don't think it's just doing a bunch of addition and multiplication, but I don't need to do that much processing. There's probably some stuff I can do. Hey, Cassie. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We are currently working on a new mechanic. That top right corner, you see a little map? That's what we're working on. Essentially, when you cast fire spells, that target will move further away from fire. And same with all the elements. And then they get weaker because you're pulling that element out of the air. So that's kind of currently what we're working on. I'm just doing some tests. I am about to call it a night if I can get this working. My hyper focus is going to keep me from stopping until I'm happy with it. Hey, Casey, how's it going? We're found in suburbia. Hope things are going well. Thanks, appreciate it. You just got the notification? Weird. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. So your notification is 3 hours late. And thanks, Cassie. Appreciate it. I think it's coming along pretty well. Hey, that's all right. It is all good. Hey, thanks for the follow there. Appreciate that. All right, so let's see. So I'm dealing about 9 damage now with fire. It should be calculating, like adjusting for this mapping, even with it's just my weapon on fire. But I'm wondering why it's not. I'll figure that out here in a bit. Okay, so first let me just check the damage output on my regular magic. I am getting a good value. Oh, you know what? I think I just realized what's going on. Yeah. Okay, so here's what's happening. I'm returning an integer. The world impact node that I have that I just created, I think I'm calculating as an integer. I need to do it as a float. I'm fairly confident in that. Okay, so a couple things I can do really quick to fix that is, first off, don't return an integer here, return a float. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll tell you in a second. So essentially, that's that element map. I think you and I talked about this, where essentially, as you cast different spells of different elements, right, you're drawing that element out of the environment. So that element will get weaker, but like the opposite element will get stronger. And so that's what that is. That's that map that shows you where you're at. So that's what I'm coding in right now. But yeah, I was calculating. I just realized I'm calculating integer, so I need all that to be a float, and that's why, because it's just a percentage. So that's why it's not actually changing any of the damage. Yeah. So let's see, world impact. Just make that 1.0. And then here, 1.0. Wait, that's not right. That's kind of strange. I may have saved over my world impact calculation up here with that. I did. I just set it to 1. That's right. Okay, so easy. I have the formula still. We can go grab that. It's in load stats, which is just here. I'm going to divide that by 100.0, and that'll force it into a float. All right. Glad I realized that. That'd have been super challenging to debug. Okay. So ultimately then I need not statuses, but magic. Let's see, what is this? It is magic.element. So that should do it. Now let's run it. So yeah, I did get it calculating. I've got the graphic. I mean, the graphic's really rudimentary. It's like take 1 of the graphic, super draft. But I think what I'll end up doing is having it like the color of the target change based on the color of the element, like a blending of the color of the elements, and I'll make each element thing its own thing and probably put it on like a transparent thing. Let's see, I'll make this a little bigger. So it will end up being cool. It needs some work, but let's see. So first I'm gonna get a baseline. Let's just go attack first without any sort of, actually no, I do want an effect, because if I don't have an effect, then you won't see any difference. But let me get a couple attacks in with this effect on just to see the damage change. So you can see it move right towards ice. It moves a little bit, right, every time you cast a spell. And so right now, this says I'm gonna do 87. I did 130 because I got a critical hit. I need to buff up everyone's attack. Okay, but let's see. So now everybody can cast a fire spell. Or I need to buff up everyone's health, I guess. So now fire spells here. This usually does 13, I think. Let's see how much it says it's going to do on a person. 10. So they should do quite a bit less. And you can see it moving down to the bottom right as you cast fire spells. So I dealt 10. So now it says I'll do 63. And there was a critical. I did 94. So yeah, so I'm doing significantly less damage, right, over time. And then what I can do is I can cast like this ice spell. Thanks, appreciate it. Oh, I didn't realize you hadn't seen the like fire effects on the weapons and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure how long it's been. I'll focus my attacks on her. She's got like 10,000 health. So now if I cast Frost, it's going to move up to the left. But my Frost spells will be a lot stronger now. So I can just keep doing that. Gotcha. I can't remember, how far this was. It has been like a month since I streamed. So yeah, he's going to get killed. So I might have to do something a little different here. Okay, let's cast, just in the off chance that he doesn't get killed. I'll just do that. But yeah, I'll show you too. Let's see. I can't remember. Did I have the attack animations like this whenever you were here last? Let's see. So then I'll do this real quick. And I should deal a ton of damage. 64. Let's see. I expected more damage than that because I guess that is less. Gotta think about that. Add some of them when you were there. I gotcha. I can't remember what I had here, honestly. Ooh, early. I'm getting some lag. All right, so here, I'm surprised that only does 64, but let me go to fire, which should be the same damage amount. Let's see what happens. But it should be significantly weaker. It could be that the axe is just weaker right now. I haven't done a lot of balancing. All right, let's see. Also, the enemy right now gets a perfect every time. So yeah, 49 on fire. So it is a lot weaker. Then yeah, I do have, I don't think that I had this last time, but I do have animations for every weapon now. And I actually have 4 different animations for every single button click, right? So like here, if I do, you can press X, A, B, or Y, right? If I press A, I do that. If I press X, I do that. B, I do something different. So there's actually different animations for everything you're doing, which is kind of fun because you can play around with different stuff. I'll also have it have different effects, but you can kind of hack at them. Yeah, I did fix it, but it does like a random value between 1 and 4, and she hasn't been able to get a second hit in a while for some reason. I might have to look at that. Ooh. It is a whole lot more fun to play now, I'll say. But yeah, so like right now I'm not doing a ton. I should be able to do like Frostblade 3. Even on that weapon, be able to do just a ton of damage. See, and then I can have like my weaker people do some fire, like Burning Blade stuff. Oh, he got killed anyway. But I can have my weaker people do Burning Blade stuff, which will increase ice damage, right? And now she's just gonna do a stupid amount of damage, I'm sure, with her ice sword. Here you go. Yeah, 2,551. There's some balancing needed here. Oh yeah, ridiculous. So, yeah, pretty good. All right. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, so I think there's some really cool strategies. Some stuff will quickly become broken, but I think that's okay. I think there's some good strategies you can do here now, because you can really kind of have people whose sole job it is to pull elements out of the air to like create an imbalance. And I think what I'm going to do is like have the weather be impacted by that. So like, for example, like maybe as you like pull the fire out of the air, right? Or maybe lightning out of the air or something where it's more on the water side, it rains more or something, right? Maybe when you pull more water out of the air, like you still have clouds, but there's less rain, but more lightning or something. Fire, as it's closer to the fire side, maybe more sun. Maybe it starts snowing when the ice gets high enough, right? So I think I can do some really cool stuff like that. And light and dark, just the time of day, right? I have control over all that, which is nice. Exactly, yeah. I think support characters can really be focused on a lot more than just heals and buffs. And your heals and buffs do a lot more, right? Heals and buffs are still element-based. So, like, if you're casting a fire buff, it's going to be pulling some of the fire out of the environment. So your ice spells become stronger. So you could focus on some of those buffs. And, yeah, I think it could be really cool. But, yeah, so I think, like, I'll have it, whenever you pull the sun down, for example, right? Or I guess light. If you pull light down, maybe it gets dark. When you pull dark, maybe it gets light. I think I can have a lot of things like that happen. Yeah, agree. Which it's probably gonna be hard to balance, but being a single player game, I think that's okay. I don't think you're gonna need too much balance there. So yeah, ultimately that feels pretty good. I'm gonna test it one more time, and then I'm probably gonna log off for tonight. It's getting pretty late, but I honestly expected this to take more than one stream to fully implement. Obviously there's some cleanup to do in terms of like, I don't need the map on all the time. So I'll need to be able to turn it on and off. I'll probably do that on a button. I don't need, It needs cleaned up. It's really rough. It's literally made in PowerPoint. So there's some stuff I need to do there, but yeah, ultimately it feels pretty good. And I can do things like just charge everybody on fire right as my first turn, and then switch to ice and just deal stupid amounts of damage. I agree. Yeah, I think in single player games, if you've got, like, you don't want to make the game too easy, right? But if there are strategies that you use that really can make you super strong, that's great. And the thing is, right, like the enemies, as you're charging up these spells, right, I got to make the AI smart enough, I think, and that's the key. Because like as I'm doing this, ice is just getting stupid strong. So I'm just casting a bunch of fire spells. Well, if the enemy knows ice spells, they're going to also just take you out immediately. And it's only double damage, so it's not like it's that bad, right? The max is double damage. But it also means that like fire spells do 0 damage. So it's between 0 and 200% is the multiplier. But yeah, once I get like the AI programmed on the enemies, they're probably going to react to that pretty heavily. So like if the world is, at least at a certain point, at the beginning, they probably won't even know about this because your character wouldn't know about this either until they learn it, right? But once the enemies are smart enough to know about it, I'll probably have like a difference between like a smart AI and a dumb AI. But once they're smart enough to know about it, they're going to take advantage of it. Exactly. Yeah. They'd be kind of feeling in the atmosphere, hey, you know, there's a imbalance right now of fire. I'm going to go use ice to take this enemy out. So you'd probably be advised against doing this because the enemy would probably just go take you out unless you're faster. Right. So I think it's strategy. And I think it kind of creates some really cool strategic things. After this, I'll switch to ice here and take her out. And then the enemy would also be trying to set up some balances and stuff too, I think. And being only double damage, it's not like it's super broken, but it will definitely come in play. And I mean, the one thing I was thinking that would be kind of cool to use is like, if like the enemy has like a super strong attack, right? Yeah, I agree. That would be really cool. I think I'll probably try to think that through and how to implement that. But yeah, if the enemy has a super strong attack, say it's a fire element attack, right? And you know you're going to get killed in one hit. What you could do is everybody could cast a fire spell to weaken the fire spell. Because like right now, where it's at, fire spells, actually before I attack her, like if I go attack with my axe right now, because it's so far away from fire, if you look at the bottom left, 0 damage. Immune, right? Because because there's no fire in the environment. All the fire's been drained out. So fire spells are useless right now. Which is kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. So yeah, if I cast fire, I guess it deals 4 here because maybe it's a little stronger. But all resisted because again, fire's out of the environment. All right, so let's see. So then if I attack her with this, all those, by the way, that say perfect, those are frame perfect. So, you know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it feels great. All right. Well, I feel pretty good about that. I think that's pretty good and pretty good place to stop. But yeah, thanks for jumping in, thanks for joining. If you're first time in the stream, please follow. Try to stream Wednesdays and Fridays. I've been out for a little bit, but I'm back. Yeah, definitely some. Yeah, exactly. I think adding some name get effect stuff. Like right now, you just deal 0 damage, but yeah, adding some kind of indicators that makes you want to change it. It's probably super important. Yeah, Cassie, thanks for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, you got to fix your notifications. Found in suburbia. Hopefully, hopefully you can figure that out. Let me find real quick someone to raid here. Let's see. They've got some new raid tools, which is kind of nice. I like that. Here's someone else coding in Godot, which is cool. So we will raid. I don't know anything about this person, but we'll raid Da Vinci. Everybody give him a hi or hey guys. And yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. So again, I'll be back here on Wednesday will probably be the next time I stream. If I get some time earlier in the week, I'll pop in earlier. But until then, see y'all later. Thanks everybody.